Hey everybody, Z Garcia here, and today I'm taking a look at the 10th anniversary edition of Pandemic. I am a big fan of cooperative games in general, and Pandemic specifically. And I've been into the game ever since it came out back in 2008. And so, for the 10th anniversary edition, Z-Man Games decided to release a fancy version of the game. This is a replica, basically, of the second edition of Pandemic, which included some new characters, but of course in a different storage. This is in a tin medical, it looks like a medical bag, basically, or a first aid kit, and with a new board, a larger board, some upgrades, miniatures for the characters, things like that. So I'm not going to be doing this as a review proper. This is more of a look at this product. As I said, I love Pandemic. You can go check out our Dice Tower reviews of the base game itself if you're curious about that. But if you already know the base game and you are wondering what's in here, how it looks and what I think of it, then you are in the right place. Let's go ahead and take a look at that. And I'll be sharing my thoughts as we go throughout the video. So here we go. So here is what the case looks like. It comes with a handle, as you can see here. It's going to have some tabs if you like to mount it on the wall. So it's got these as well. And then these clasps here to keep the whole thing shut. They are starting to wear, especially one of them. This one right here is very loose to the point that if I... you can turn this upside down and it actually just kind of comes off very easily. So they do wear out if you're not careful, I guess. I don't know. Or they just wear out no matter what. All right, let's crack this open and see. So we've got a little foam here on the edge of the lid. You've got your manual there. We've got our board. And then below that, our insert. It's a very nice, clean insert. So let's go ahead and pull everything out of there and take a look at it. So we'll start with the biggest thing, the board. The manual is very well done. Not going to worry about that. It's pretty standard. The board looks fantastic. And it is larger than the original board by a considerable amount, actually. I wouldn't say this is a massive board, but it does look good. And the printing on it is pretty spectacular. It has a nice bright look to it, and then the printing on the locations as well as the connections where the cards go, all of that have an interesting finish on them that makes them shiny and really pop on the display here on the table. So there you go. That's that. We've got our characters with a new look to them. The artwork is the same, but the arrangement of the symbology and all that is different. You've also got one of these that's the same on both sides telling you the actions, but the backs of the characters all do that as well. So that's not a problem. I think that's fine. We've got our cards, our 2 decks of cards. You've got these, which, again, very well done. Good layout on them. And these are extremely high quality cards. That's one thing I will say. The card quality in the game is superb. It really is. And then we've got these, again, with a new look. The action cards have a new look themselves. Very sharp. The printing on it is very well done. And then our Epidemic cards back here. So, to reiterate, the quality of the cards is superb. Really fantastic job there. We've got over here the cubes that are going to be the disease cubes, and the petri dishes here are very nicely done. They look good. They got that design on the lid. We've got our other colors over here. Let me pull them out. We've got our yellow there, and we've got our black there. And then besides the containers, I actually find these to be quite a letdown. The deluxe part of this is that they are wooden. Again, which is strange to me, seeing as to how the original printing of this back in 2008 was basically this. They were wooden. And the wooden cubes are not even particularly well done. There's a little mismatching when it comes to size and so forth, which is a standard thing you'll find with wooden cubes. I just wouldn't expect it in a deluxe printing of basically anything. So these are a disappointment. I have to say, I would have loved to have seen a little more care go into making the disease markers, whatever they may be, a little flashier than this. The tokens that mark the different disease cures down here, they look great. They're nice and chunky wooden tokens. Very well done. They've got on the other side, of course, the ability to denote that something has been eradicated. So I like these. Those look great. The markers that go on the board up here for the infection rate and over there for the outbreaks, those look good as well. Especially this one. Nice and, again, chunky. Really pops on the board. The hospitals, the research centers, are pretty standard. Nothing to write home about, but I don't necessarily have a big problem with these. The cubes, though, I have to say, I am disappointed there. And then the main thing that this one seems to add to make it a deluxe printing of the game is these, the miniatures for the different characters. And these are pretty good. I don't like the bases so much, especially considering that, you know, this part that holds the mini in place, it just kind of comes off, and then it sort of, you can see the gray of the stand through it. That's all right. If the colors on these ever changed, I would say, oh, that's a neat system. It's a cool way to do that, to switch out the base and then put a different character in it. That's neat. But they don't. The characters have colors. That's the color you are always, so that's unnecessary. I thought that was a bit strange, and the bases, while I'm glad they are colored, and that's going to obviously help you identify who you are playing, are a strange way to do so. The minis themselves, the detail is all right. They have a wash on them, which certainly helps the detail pop out, so I appreciate that. And that's what they all look like. So there you go. Those are your minis. And that's largely it. Other than that, and some of my, more general thoughts on the design here and what this is and who it's for, really, I guess this would be for very serious collectors. It's a version of Pandemic you cannot expand, A. It is a version of Pandemic that looks good, but I would say isn't as deluxe as a $100 price tag would warrant. And this board has a misprint on it, a pretty serious misprint, I would say, which just sort of, undercuts all of those things I just said. Over here, you are going to have a missing connection line between, let's see, I believe it's Ho Chi Minh City and Bangkok. Normally, on the normal Pandemic board that's been around for 10 years, there is a connection between these two. I cannot, in my right mind, believe that that's a purposeful change. And it's not mentioned in the rulebook whatsoever. So that is a misprint. And that is a huge problem. One that somehow I haven't seen addressed anywhere. So that's a big deal to me, which makes this board, in my opinion, I'm a big fan of Pandemic. I adore the game. It's one of my absolute favorites. This is a flawed product. Just from that point of view alone. Never mind the fact that the cubes, I think, are kind of lame, and the price tag does not seem to match what you are getting here that is deluxe. I think the tin does not warrant that. It's a fine case, but it's going to get dinged. It's going to get scuffed. This one already is definitely starting to show signs of that. The clasps are becoming loose, so not great from that point of view. And then you throw a misprint on top of that, and this is something that I strain to recommend this to hardcore collectors and, just absolute fanatics of the game. If they issue a replacement board, maybe, and if the price was not quite as steep for what you are getting, then certainly. But as it stands right now, I just cannot see myself recommending this to pretty much anyone. The original game is considerably cheaper, looks good, yes, maybe not this bright and attractive with the nice finish on it, but it looks good, and it's expandable. And there's so much content for this game already that getting this version as your primary version is going to deprive you of the possibility to expand it with so much awesome content. So there you go. That is Pandemic 10th Anniversary Edition. Like I said, and I reiterate, I adore Pandemic, but this product seemed to miss the mark on a lot of different fronts, and I just cannot really bring myself to recommend it. So there you go. That's it for me. Pandemic 10th Anniversary Edition. Thanks for checking this out with me, folks. I'll see you on the next one.
Thanks so much for watching the Dice Tower videos. Find more great videos and reviews, as well as our top-rated audio podcast at Dicetower.com.